Brandon, just give me your thoughts on the offensive line, your progress through the first three games, both as a team and then you individually.
The progress. I think the first game that we had against Maryland, it was all like a filling out process for our offensive line. I think that we went out there and really just wanted to show that what we had, what we went over in the off season, really what how hard we worked and stuff like that. I think we all kind of like really was all just it was really just a filling out process for me. Last year we had no fans, so it really just felt like practice. We're going out there, it felt like a different atmosphere. We all worked very very hard over the off season, so going out there for the first time in front of fans was really very different. I think we all handled it well as it went on against like LIU and Virginia Tech. I think we all built a better connection. You saw that on the field that we all played more physicality and we all really started trusting each other more out there, and communication got way better. As you've seen in Virginia Tech and against Oklahoma, the communication got a lot better, and we all really trusted each other more and really played harder for each other.
Brandon, can you describe the disappointment that you had in the locker room after the game, playing Oklahoma so well and being right there to knock off a number 4 team in their place?
The feeling we had afterwards was more like we lost, but we really got to learn from the situation. It's really early in the season, so we still got a lot of improvement that we can go on throughout the whole season. So we really took that was like, okay, now we see where we're at. Now we know where we need to go to next. And I think we were more like, I was more like excited. We was all excited talking to each other. Was like, you know what, we really just showed ourselves out there, and we could really fight harder and see them again potentially in the championship.
So for you guys, O-line, you could hang your hats on going up against maybe the best defensive front you're going to see this year. How you view it?
Yes. I think we went out there and really just tried to just to see where we really level at, and I think we really just want to go out there and play hard. It didn't really matter like if it was the best or the worst. We just want to go out there and prove to everybody we can play hard and be a really physical offensive line.
As a group, when someone gets beat like for a sack or like Zach when he has the two bad snaps, how do you guys, do you just leave them alone and let them, or do you come to them?
So one thing we all talk about is like it's not like offensive line is not just a one person, it's a whole group. So one person messes up, we all messed up. We all could have did something better in that situation. We all could have did a little bit more. We all could have did better so we wouldn't be in that situation. We all could have like made better footwork or communicated better and to be in a better place than we had to be in that situation right there. But when he did make that mistake, we all just talked to each other. It was like, you know what, it was just one mistake that we can go back and try again, keep trying again. But Zach Frazier is a really good player, and I know he's going to bounce back for sure.
So Brandon, I know a little bit of this story, but how does a Vegas kid get to Morgantown, West Virginia?
Funny story, actually. So after my sophomore year of high school, I lived in Delaware my whole life. My mom moved down there from Rhode Island, and then I was born and raised there. And so after my sophomore year of high school, we was all just thinking of places to move to. I said Texas. I wanted to move to Texas. I mean, why not? But then my mom just like, she came up with some odd idea. Was like, when we moved to Las Vegas. So we was all just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess we do it. So we talked about that in June, and we moved in August. Packed up everything in one Town and Country Chrysler minivan, and drove across the country from Delaware to Las Vegas.
So did you just want to get away from Delaware?
I guess we just wanted to change, something different. And then being in Las Vegas, a lot different from being in Delaware, a lot more things to do. And then I got a lot of West Coast offers and stuff like that. And so then actually the funny thing is, so after my junior year of high school, I came in. It was like one more. It was like the last camp of the summer for here, and my uncle wanted me to come. I was like, oh yeah, sure. So I flew back here, came to one camp, and then that was the old coaching staff. So Wick Klein, he called me over and then offered me a couple days after I left. And then me and my uncle was talking over with my uncle. We was like, you know what? Let me just commit. So I decided to commit and come here. It just felt like home. It felt like being kind of like back in Delaware. So I kind of loved it.
Doesn't that go against what your mom wanted to do going out west? Did you like just going against that? Agreeing?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to her with my mom, but she just wanted me to go to a place that I knew that I loved. And when she came here, she came with me on my visits, and she loved it as well. So it was just the best decision to make.
How many miles you got on that car?
Man, that was about 3,000 right there. It was rough. It was definitely rough.
Does she still live in Las Vegas?
Yeah, she still lives in Las Vegas with my dad.
How many days did you do it at, the drive?
Took us about 3 days. We stopped in, we stopped in Ohio, we stopped in Kansas, and we stopped in Colorado. So it took about like 3 days. We stayed in Colorado for like 2 days.
Did you like Vegas? There's things to do, but weather-wise, you don't have maybe the snow, but you got 800-degree summers, and so positives and negatives, and then coming to a small town in Morgantown. What's that been like?
I mean, the positives. I mean, I guess you get that experience, being in the West Coast, being that West Coast life. It's a lot different from being on the East Coast. There's a lot of things to do, but like I was a kid, I just like playing football. I was more focused on playing football. So coming back here, it's a lot different. Like a lot more. Like I can go see like mountains and stuff like that. I've really been around mountains like that. Being here was a lot different. It felt a lot more like a place I needed to be at. It felt like home, honestly, to me. When I came down, touched down, and actually saw everything, it felt like I've been here my whole life.
You play a tough position. You're usually not covered up. You're out on an island. What's the number one lesson you learned playing tackle in the Big 12?
One thing I talked to Coach Moore about is having that is like the next play mentality. Like we have a very small margin of error playing at my position. It's really, really hard to play at my position. Not a lot of people can do it. So when you do mess up and do get in situations where you do like get beat or stuff like that, you just remember like you got to continue to keep playing. Like you can't forget what your training before that. Like you have to fall to your training, and I trained very, very hard to be able to play at a high level. So it's really, really hard, but I think that if you keep the right mindset and right mentality, that you will be able to be successful in the position.
What bothers you most, the big bull rush guy or the little guy, the quick guy that you can't get your hands on?
I'm a basketball guy, so I can deal with the fast, little twitchy guys. The big guys is a little bit more annoying. I like a little bit more of a guy likes to move. Kind of like to move a little bit more.
So in trying to combat that, you mentioned you worked on a lot of different things to prepare yourself for this. What do you do to prepare for somebody that has that advantage? I mean, you can only get so strong, and you can't get any taller, obviously.
Oh yeah. So stuff like that, like you really have to fall to your like techniques and stuff like that. We have multiple techniques to be able to stop somebody that is like bigger, that is like to just run directly down the middle of you. You have to fall to your training, like I said. I worked very, very hard over the off season. We all worked very, very hard over the off season to really able to go any situation that you have, any person that you have, any personnel that you have, that you're able to use the most effective techniques to be able to beat that certain rush or how that person like comes, I guess.
How has your college career gone? I mean, you starting as a redshirt freshman last year, so I mean, that's. Have you been pleased with how you've progressed, or what have you thought of it?
Yeah, I'm definitely pleased. I definitely see a lot of things that I could really improve on for sure. Definitely with the O-line room that we have now, they really do push me to become better each and every single day. Having a guy like Zach Frazier, James Gimmitter, Doug Nestor, and Parker, that we all push each other over the off season to become better. I think we all have progressed very, very well, and I think I progressed very well inside that room. And I think the ceiling is, I think this offensive line has a very, very high ceiling.
You mentioned crowds. It's one thing you had to learn this year. I guess you Zach and Parker last year, at most in front of 10,000 people. What's the difference between playing in front of 80,000 people like you did last week?
I guess it's more like you get more eyes on you. Like the 10,000, like a lot of it was our families. You know, I played against my family since I was in Little League. Like that's nothing different. But when you see people, like everybody, it's like their first impression of you. Like you get like 80,000 first impressions. So you really have to, you know, put what you want them to see on film. So you really go out there and try your best to be the best player you can be out there in that certain situation. So I guess it is kind of different because you do get that extra little like nervousness of like it's your first impression. You know what I mean?
What's the two quarterback system been like for you, trying to protect for a more pocket passer and then a more erratic, scrambling type player?
I think I don't think there's not much of a big difference. I mean, I really go out there, so we still have the same like blocking keys and still techniques we still have to take. So like when you go out there, I mean, there's different people, but I guess they really have to react off of what we do, honestly. So I don't think there's that big of a difference. I guess you just do realize like who it is back there, like who like you're going like with Deggy, you're gonna get more of a he's gonna sit in the pocket, he's gonna move around a little bit, and then Garrett he's more like he's for sure like he's gonna full on like he's gonna run. So it's more like I guess how they gonna react off you.
Randy mentioned your recruitment. You commit to one staff. They leave before you're actually ever even able to play for them. So what's that like? Were there doubts in your mind when Neil Brown's hired and whether you'd follow through and all that?
So so when everything happened, I was a little like confused. I did not expect it at all. So, but I knew I was for sure gonna come to West Virginia because, like I said, I felt like home. I felt like home when I was here. I chose this school not based off the coaching staff alone. I chose the school because, like, if I wasn't a student, if I wasn't an athlete at all, like I'll for sure come here to be a student and I still be able to find like successful, like happy life here in West Virginia. So I really didn't see myself going anywhere else. So I really was like keyed on to this school. And when Neil Brown came, I was pretty much excited to see it. Like there's a new staff, you know what I mean. And then when I came on the second visit. So when I came on the second visit, I for sure was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere else.
Brandon Oklahoma's defensive line very good. It seemed like they were very quick off the ball. What type of difference or difficulty did that add? On top of them being good too.
So yeah, it was very very fast. They was also home, and also that they're just a top tier D line. We also take into account like they're gonna have good ball get off. They're good players, just like they play Power 5 football just as well as we do. So they're gonna be good. What took that into account was more like you really got to lock in every single play. One thing that I pride myself on is like get off the ball fast, get off, be twitchy, be fast, be athletic, be aggressive, and then just match their aggression and their speed. That's the only way you really can go and really beat them.